Hello, I'm Jenny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a back to school look using only drugstore products. I wanted to keep this look relatively affordable just in case you're still in high school, you're starting out in makeup, you don't want to spend a lot, so I wanted to keep this relatively simple and on the cheaper side. So let's go ahead and get started. To start, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Face Primer. I broke it, as you can tell, so I'm just going to have to stick my finger in it and just get some out. This is kind of like a silicone-based primer. It reminds me of the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, or Photo Ready Primer, whatever that primer is. I'm just going to put that everywhere. Next, I'm going to take the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Soft Beige, and I'm going to apply that all over my face. I like this because it's a lightweight formula, and it's easy to apply and blend out. But if you're looking for something a little more full coverage, I suggest the Revlon ColorStay. They have one for combination oily, which is what I use, and then they have one for combo dry. So they kind of have one for either skin type, so that's what I like about this one. So if you need a little more coverage, I'd go with the Revlon. But I'm going to go with the Wet n Wild because it is cheaper than the Revlon. And I just wanted, you know, if you're in high school, probably don't want to go crazy. Maybe your school has rules on makeup, which would be silly. But you never know. I just wanted to use Wet n Wild. Also, I won't be using any drugstore brushes. I don't have a whole lot, so I really didn't want to like bring in like 2 brushes. But Wet n Wild makes good brushes. e.l.f. makes good brushes. Eco Tools, Real Techniques, ColourPop just came out with brushes. You can find good quality brushes at Walmart, CVS. I'm just going to blend this out. I am using the Sigma F80 to blend it out. Because I have a couple blemishes up here, I'm going to go into the Wet n Wild Coverall color correcting palette. And I'm going to take that green shade and I'm just going to apply that on top of my problem spots and then kind of just tap out the edges just to kind of diffuse it a little more. And then I'm just going to go back in with some more foundation, just a little bit on top of those spots. And then I have some redness peeking out right there. So I'm just going to add some more there too. So now that I have foundation on, I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in the shade Light Ivory. Again, if you want some fuller coverage, you could go with the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. I use the shade Neutralizer because it's more yellow toned, but they have lots of other colors. Once again, this is more expensive than that, but it is a good full coverage concealer. So I'm just going to take the Wet n Wild Concealer, and I'm going to apply it under the eyes. This is a little too light for me, but that's okay. It'll give me a nice highlighted look. I'm going to take it under the eyes, a little bit on the nose, a little bit on the chin, and then make a cute little design on my forehead. And taking the Eco Tools blender, I'm going to just blend all that out. Take it on my eyelids too, just to cover up some of the redness of my eyelids. For the forehead, I'm going to take the butt end of my blender. So now I'm going to take the butt end and I'm just going to go over my face to soak up any extra product that I have left on my face. Now what I'm going to do is take the e.l.f. contour kit, and I'm going to take this yellow shade with a setting brush, and I'm going to just set my under eye concealer with that. There is a white shade in here, but it has some shimmer in it, and I don't want that under the eye. I've tried it under the eye before, and I don't like how that looks, so I'm just going to use the yellow. It's going to kind of balance out that crazy bright concealer too. I'll take some on the chin, down the nose, and on the forehead. Just anywhere I put that concealer, I'm going to put this yellow banana shade powder. So now to set the whole rest of the face, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Powder in Natural Buff. And just put that everywhere I didn't put the yellow powder, just to set down the foundation. So now that my face is set, I'm going to go into the warmer shade here with a fluffy tapered brush, and I'm going to bronze my face, just kind of the cheekbone area, forehead a little bit. So now, going back into the e.l.f. contour palette, I am going to go into the contour shade, which as you can tell is a favorite of mine. And I am going to contour my cheekbones. That's really all I contour to. I'll go in with this brush and kind of go down the sides of my nose. But that's about it. I don't really contour and chisel anything. Just like to give the cheeks a little more definition. Now I'm going to go into the CoverGirl Cheekers Blush in Brick Rose. This has been a favorite of mine since high school. It was one of the only blushes, it was actually the only blush I wore in high school. So I thought it would be appropriate to bring it back. But now what I'm going to do, the only these are still drugstore price, but you can't actually get them in a drugstore. It's the ColourPop eyeliners in Swerve and HoneyDude. Unfortunately, ColourPop isn't sold in stores, they're only online. I don't have a whole lot of, actually I don't have any drugstore eyeliners, so I will link some alternatives down below. But for now, I'm going to use these ColourPop ones, which are still affordable. They're still only, I think these were only $5 each, which is pretty good for drugstore, so I will link others down below. So now that I've tight lined, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Brow Kit in the shade, I think this, yeah, in the shade Light. This is my go-to. This was the very first thing I used going into brows. I absolutely love it. It's only $3. It's fantastic, so let's go ahead and get started. First, what I'm going to do is take the brush that came with it. I'm going to take this little angled side, and I'm going to go into the gel part, or the pomade, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to start shaping my brows with it. I think I need to go to a darker color so it'll match my hair more, but it's still fine. It's not terrible. Also going to start to fill it in a little bit, especially down here at the tail end. Now that I have it filled in with the pomade, I'm going to take this little angled brush that actually came with a an e.l.f. eyeliner pot. Any little angled brush will do. I just prefer this one. I'm going to go into the powder and just kind of go over that. It's going to kind of hold the powder in place. And where the powder is a little more neutral in tone, it'll kind of calm the warmth of that brow pomade down. And it'll help fill in any sparse areas I missed. So now that my brows are filled in, I'm going to go in with the NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel and just set those in place. And what I like to do is kind of brush them up and then kind of brush the tops back down. This kind of gives it a more full and like fluffier natural eyebrow look as opposed to so chiseled and sharp and like Instagram brow. That's just not my style. So now I'm going to prime my eyes with the Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer. I'm just going to put this all over my eyelids. Taking a flat brush, I'm going to go into the CoverGirl TruNaked Nudes palette, and I'm going to go into the second matte shade and use that to set the primer so it's not so sticky. Taking a fluffy brush, I'm going to go into this nice mid-tone brown shade, and I'm just going to pop this into the crease and the outer V, going for something super simple and quick for the eyes, because you want your eyes to pop, but you don't want to take too long, especially if you're anything like me and you sleep through your alarm 7 times. You're going to want to get something on your eyes quick. Before I go any further, I want to go ahead and put some eyeliner in my waterline, so I'm going to go in with that ColourPop HoneyDude liner. I'm actually going to make it a little darker and take this just on a tinier brush and just on the very outer parts just kind of add just a tiny bit more depth. But nothing too dark or too crazy. With a flat definer brush, I'm going to go into this medium shimmer shade and just kind of lightly pat it all over the lid. Just gonna bring a little bit of light and shimmer to your lid. Draw more attention to your eyes. I have a review of this palette on my blog. I'll link it below in case you're interested. Now, taking the little sponge tip applicator that it came with, I'm going to go into this little shimmer shade right here. And I'm just going to pop that on the inner half of the eye, basically, to open it up, give it a little more light. And now I'm going to go to the lower lash line, and taking a pencil brush, I'm just going to take the light shade and run it on the outer half of the lower lash line. Going into the dark shade down here, I'm tapping most of it off. I am just going to run it right into the lashes, just to kind of look a little bit lined. And I'm going to stop where my lashes stop. Just kind of makes the lashes look a tiny bit fuller. Now, taking my detailer brush by EcoTools, I'm going to go into this white-ish, this light shade down here on the end, and pop that in the inner corners to bring light to the eyes. Make you look more awake, make you look like you weren't studying for that test all night. I'm going to add a little bit more of that champagne-y shade to the inner half of the eye to brighten it up a little more. I'm going to curl my eyelashes real quick and I'll be right back. Now that I've curled my eyelashes, I'm going to go in with the Loreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara on the top and bottom lashes. Look at the difference. This mascara is fantastic. Now that I have my mascara on, I'm going to go in with the Revlon Ultra HD Matte Liquid Lip in the shade Seduction. And to finish off, I'm going to set my face with the Wet n Wild setting spray. I can't believe I forgot to apply highlighter, so I'm going to go into the Hard Candy. It's actually the bronzer, the Tiki bronzer, but I'm going to use it as a highlight. And I'm just going to pop that on the tops of my cheekbones. Cupid's bow, the nose. So now the look is finished. I think it looks great. You can obviously wear this wherever you wanted to. You don't have to wear it just to school, but I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are going back to school, I hope you have a wonderful school year. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time. Bye!